He sat alone at the corner table of a small diner. 2 coffee cups in front of him, one untouched, one nearly empty. The rain outside painted streaks across the window, blurring the reflection of a man who had once faced war without flinching. But tonight he couldn't fight the silence. James Porter checked his watch again. 7:45 p.m. She was supposed to be here at 7. His hands trembled slightly as he reached for the cup, not from the chill, but from the same unease that had followed him home from Afghanistan. A loneliness that no metal could silence. The waitress gave him a sympathetic smile. "She might still show up," she said softly. He nodded, though he didn't believe it. He'd told himself he didn't deserve another chance at love. Not after losing his wife 3 years ago. Not after the night he came home from service and held her cold hand in the hospital bed. But tonight. Tonight, he had let his friend convince him to try a blind date, a fresh start. And yet here he was again alone. He sighed and was about to ask for the check when the bell above the diner door jingled. For small voices broke through the quiet hum of the place. "Excuse us, sir. Our mommy's sorry she's late." James turned, and standing before him were 4 kids soaked from the rain, huddled together, their eyes bright and uncertain. Behind them, a woman hurried in, breathless, her hair dripping, her coat barely holding off the storm. And in that instant, something inside James shifted. The rain had been falling since afternoon, tapping on the windows like a ticking clock. James had arrived early just to be sure he wouldn't seem nervous, though his leg was bouncing under the table like it had a mind of its own. He'd chosen this small, old-fashioned diner on Main Street because it reminded him of home. The kind of place where people still smiled when they passed by. The kind of place he hadn't felt part of in years. He kept glancing toward the door, watching each person who came in. None of them were her. When he finally gave up, he told himself it didn't matter. Maybe she realized who he was. A single father, a veteran with more scars than smiles. Maybe she wanted someone easier, lighter, not a man who still woke up some nights gasping for air. He reached for his jacket, ready to leave. That's when he heard the little voice. "Sir, are you James?" He turned. 4 children stood there, 2 girls, 2 boys, their ages ranging from maybe 5 to 10. They looked like a small army of sunshine caught in the storm. Before he could answer, one of them, a tiny girl clutching a soggy teddy bear, spoke up again. "Our mommy said she's sorry she's late. She got stuck helping a lady whose car broke down. She told us to tell you she'll be here any second." James froze, coffee cup halfway to his lips. Their mommy. And as if on cue, the door burst open again. And there she was. Her hair clung to her cheeks, her eyes wide with embarrassment, her coat flapping behind her like a flag. "Hi, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry," she said, catching her breath. "You must be James. I'm Emily." He blinked, then laughed softly. "You brought reinforcements, I see." She smiled, cheeks flushed. "They insisted on coming. Their babysitter canceled last minute, and I didn't want to cancel on you, too." Something about her tone, honest, warm, apologetic, melted the wall he'd built around his heart. "That I'm glad you didn't," he said, smiling for the first time that night. The kids slid into the booth next to them, ordering pancakes and hot cocoa. The waitress raised an eyebrow but said nothing. And as the rain poured outside, the corner of that little diner filled with laughter, awkward at first, then genuine. For the first time in years, James didn't feel like a man sitting alone. By the time the plates were empty and the kids were starting to yawn, Emily finally leaned back inside. "I know this wasn't exactly the quiet date you probably expected," James chuckled. "Are you kidding? This is the best mission I've ever been on." She laughed, the sound soft and healing. Then her eyes grew thoughtful. "I almost didn't come tonight. After my husband passed away 2 years ago, I told myself I was done. Done trying, done hoping." James' chest tightened. He knew that pain, that same hollow ache that refused to fade. "I understand," he said quietly. "My wife passed too. 3 years now. I joined the army to protect lives, but I couldn't save hers." For a moment neither spoke. The diner buzzed around them, dishes clinking, rain-apping. But in that silence, something real connected them. 2 souls who had lost everything, finding pieces of themselves again in each other's eyes. Emily smiled gently. "Maybe we were both meant to be late to this part of life." James looked at her, then at her children giggling over a spilled cup of cocoa. "Maybe right on time," he said. When the night ended, he walked them to their car, holding his jacket over their heads. The kids hugged him unprompted, pure. As they drove away, James stood under the streetlight, the rain easing to a soft drizzle. He smiled. Not the forced one people were to hide pain, but the kind that comes when you realize your heart still works. The next morning, a text came from Emily. "Thank you for not leaving. The kids won't stop talking about you." He replied with a grin. "Guess I'll have to earn their approval next time." Her reply came seconds later. "They've already given it. Now it's me. You'll have to impress." That was the beginning. Weeks passed. Breakfasts at the same diner, park picnics, helping her kids with homework, laughter replacing silence. Slowly, love returned. Not like a sudden spark, but like sunrise after a long night. One evening, as the kids ran ahead, James turned to Emily and said, "You know, I thought I was broken beyond repair." She touched his hand. "You weren't broken, James. You were waiting for someone to remind you how strong you already were." And when she smiled, he knew the war inside him had finally ended. Sometimes love doesn't arrive when you're ready. It arrives when you've almost given up, because the universe doesn't send you perfect people. It sends you real ones who show up late with 4 kids in tow and a heart brave enough to love again. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Help me reach my dream of 2K subscribers. Every click brings this dream a little closer to reality.